Hi everyone, this is tutorial about RV Player, and this is very basic tutorial about very basic features of RV Player. I'm not going to touch anything which is Trickster related. It is purely tutorial about how to use RV as it is, vanilla, as it comes from the Autodesk. Okay, so that's how it will look like. Doesn't matter where you will work on whatever company. And let's just first of all, let's bring something inside. In order to bring something in RV, you press Ctrl O, or you're going to File and then Open. Okay, and then it will give you very not comfortable way to navigate through through folder structure. I have here already a path, so I'll just copy and I will paste it here, and that's something that I would probably recommend you. And then if you press enter, it will load shot inside. Right now it did load only one frame, so let's just do it again, and I would say, well, I actually want the whole sequence. Open. Okay, and now let's have a look. Yeah, now we have a sequence. So we have our shot inside, and you can see few stuff already. On top you have a timeline, on bottom you have a timeline, and let's see where they're coming from and so on. So let's go through our menus. First of all, in RV you will have about RV, you will see the actual version and preference. Okay, so let me just first go to preference. So I will just touch a few important parts of the preferences. Okay, if you working and using server and you would like to access another RV from the server, you would like to always enable activate network on startup, but usually kind of it will be enabled already for you. Here most of the stuff are basically, it's whatever way you would like to use RV. It's not very important. Okay, so let's say I will skip that. Okay, this is simple caching. You really want to set up your caching. I would recommend region cache, so it will cache only area between in and out, and that's quite important. You probably don't want to put all your memory inside of RV, but still usually I will put something like 80%, and I never was crashing because of RV. Okay, you can be a little bit more careful, which is fine as well. Usually I would change also amount of threads which going to load material to close to maximum. I don't know how much it helps, but it's probably better than one. Then rendering, this is how it will be presented. So I setting my texture filter to linear because and nearest will give you not as good result, and I think you can go also to bicubic or area. It's up to you. Have a look how you will prefer that. Actually, I'm in area and I'm kind of fine. Maximum bit depth, well, the higher the slower the RV going to behave, but you will have actually all information there. Then I actually never went here as an artist. I didn't have to set up my stuff here. In audio I will ignore as well. So what is important is, as artist, for you to understand that RV arrives with certain plugins which they call packages, and what I would recommend you is to learn about the packages, what they can give to you. If you will open your packages tab, you always will see here something from Tweak software, and the left column will tell you it's installed, and the right one will tell you if it's actually loaded. Now if you don't know what packages are, it's plugins, and if you will click on one of them, so for example this one, there will be some explanation, and it's not very scary. Just to read about what it does. Some of things they're kind of like weird, but this, for example, scrub range offset, it just allows you to scrub and to time offset your video left or right, just with the scrubbing with your vacuum. Okay, so it is kind of healthy to understand what you have and how can you use it. Some of things are really important. Most of it is kind of like, you know, we writing, for example, in our company stuff for ourselves, just to make our life easier. Okay, so this is our preferences. Let's keep going. Then in file we already learned that we can open, and very much usual menus like open new session, open into layer, usually you just want to open it and it will be added to your project bin. So I don't want to overload you with many things which are not very important. One thing which is extremely important, my point of view, it's Control Shift N. It's basically what you doing, you releasing all video and all cache from your RV session. And it's very important because in many facilities you able just to throw stuff inside of RV instead of opening this every time from beginning, and it's super helpful that you can just press Ctrl Shift N, everything is released, your memory is back to normal. Okay, I'm not going to do that now because I have video inside and I won't just keep going. Okay, so then we have many menus here which you definitely should go and look into each one of them with all the shortcuts, and it's quite self-explanatory. I will talk about now basically, because it will take me now 2 hours to talk about all that. So let's go just to the main important stuff. Okay, X. If you press X, you will have your properties bin, or your bin, your, how you call it? Session manager, I guess they call it. Okay, so on top you will have all the sources. On bottom you will have current sequence, layout, or stack. So right now we have 2 sources, which is just 1 frame and 20 frames. I will just erase the one which is 1 frame just by clicking. Okay, you can now create your own sequences, your own stacks, your own layouts, but for now let's add more shots to it so we will have something to play with. Okay, so I will just go here and I will bring another versions. So we have here few versions, just give me a moment. I have version 3 and I have version 3 you just can grab, and don't add it as a layer, you want to add it as a source to session, and right now you have 2 of them. You have version 3 and version 4. Let's add also version 2, and it is here. As you can see, I'm adding the folder, and RV is smart enough to recognize that this is actually a sequence of pictures, and he makes video out of it. Basically, he makes one continuous video. Now, let's have a look where am I located. I'm on default sequence. So if I will just play forward, you can see I'm jumping between clips. Now, you can see that jump point is somewhere here, and you can see that what you see here, it's actually frames of each video, 10, 10, 10, and then again 1003 till 1020, and then again 1001 till 1020. So here representing to you actual frame ranges. Okay, now how do you navigate between your clips? So you have 3 clips right now, one after another, and that's now starting important stuff. Okay, so if you press Control left or Control right, you changing your in and out point to the next clip on the timeline. Control left, Control right. Okay, so this is one way to navigate. Another way, and now please have a look, on the left side you have actual 3 clips, and this is the clips which are located on the timeline in default sequence, and they're located in the way that this is the first one, this is the second, this is the third one. Okay, when I'm pressing Control left and right, I'm just jumping between them. Another shortcut that quite some people are using is Shift and 9. Okay, it's also doing something, as you can see, but instead of jumping with your location on the timeline, it's actually moving your clips in order. Now, if you will have a look here, you can see that right now the order of the clips is changing. This is something which is confusing for quite some people in beginning, and they don't know what they're doing, but well, it's changing, that's good. Okay, usually you don't want to move your clips, you want to just jump between them. Now, when you do want to move your clips, I can click on default stack right now, and right now my clips in the same order, but they all stack one on the top of each other, and you don't see the rest of them. So now if you will press Shift 9, you will actually cycle between them, and they one after other will be on top of the another. Okay, so that's when you probably want to use Shift 9 instead of using Control left and Control right, because right now it makes no sense since you're standing basically on the same frame range. Now, my personal advice, and you can take it or leave it, stack it is not efficient way to review shots, and I will explain you why. If I will go to sequence, and usually you are interested in one of your clips, you're interested in the first one, and the rest you bring as a references. And as you can see now, I loaded memory, the green line telling me, well, that's your memory, and I loaded 3 of them into my memory, which is not a big deal because I have 20 frames and it's only HD resolution. Now imagine you have 8K resolution and you have 500 frames each one. If you're loading them in stack, what you're doing, you're stacking 3 clips in the same time. RV will load all 3 of them every time when you're jumping between frames or when you're trying to play it, which is very not memory efficient. While you're reviewing one of your clips and the rest are just for references, you can always be on your clip and then you can jump on another one just to see how does it look on another clip on the same frame. And this is new shortcut. It's shift dot or shift comma. As you can see right now, I can play my master clip and then like, well, how does it look like on the other version? Like that, on this version, like that. And that's the way I would recommend you to work, because in this case, you always loading only memory that you actually need, and the rest is just like, well, you will jump there, it will load this frame, but not the rest of the frames. Okay, again, shift comma, shift dot. So this is the most important shortcuts, I believe, and that's I'm using the most. Your alternatives of view will be, for example, in stack. If you want to see the other, you can jump with the shift 9 to cycle between your versions, okay, which is absolutely fine. You also can create a wipe, and I believe it will be F6, and then you can wipe between them, okay. And that's something that many people that came from Frame Cycler very long time ago because they had nice wipe. Well, I would not recommend it just because of the memory and because this wipe is sometimes you're losing it, you have no idea where this thing is, okay? But up to you. Another way to review will be the layout, okay? I just clicked on default layout. As you can see, it's presenting you default sequence, stack, and layout. And right now we can review all 3 of them in the same time. And as you can see, RV has no problem to present them. Well, it's 3 HD clips. Imagine if, again, if we're working with 4K, you will have hard time to try even to play that. Okay, so, and let's try to press shift 9 on the layout. Exactly, he's starting to cycle between them. Okay, well, I mean, in layout it probably does not make sense at all. Okay, so let's go to one of them and let's start to play with the additional stuff that RV gives us to play with, and this is color correction. Okay, so if you press on R or G or B, red, green, blue, you press and leave it. Right now I'm in actually I'm looking on the red channel, and then you can go just on the green channel and the blue channel and so on and so on and so on. And then just give me a second. Yeah, all good. Sorry, I have a frozen machine. Now, if you will press on E, which is exposure, and you will just press with your vacuum pen and go left or right, you will go exposure up or exposure down. Okay, so now if you will press Y, I believe, you will edit your gamma, left and right. If you will press, again, exposure, for example, I will press E and then I will press R. You will edit only the red channel exposure. So I will make everything more red. Same with the blue and same with the green. So I will say exposure green, and I will just rise only the green channel exposure. Whenever you're happy or not happy with your color correction, you always can reset by pressing Shift Home. Okay, and now you're back to your proper amazing blue scene as it was. Okay, so this is very basics of color correction. You can zoom in, zoom out with the control middle click, I believe, or just with the middle click you can move your image. If you're just pressing on the material and going left and right, you will go left and right. Now let me think about what else I'm missing. So when you're in the stack view, you can go to edit and you can say, well, how you want to see your stuff. You can be in over, you can be in difference, which is quite helpful sometimes. You can be in plus and so on. You can, when in sequence, you can time offset each one of them. So for example, if you have default sequence and you go, no, you can choose the in or out point if you would like to cut your stuff. For this, you need to be on the source level. You can just go and double click here, or you can double click here on your material, and then you can see, you can say, well, what will be your frame in, what will be a frame out, and after you will set it, so for example 1005, okay, after you will set it, as you see that on source level, now your in is 1005, your out, by the way, the shortcut in and out is a square brackets, okay, in, out. And now when you will go to default sequence, you will see that your yellow clip, where is it? Yeah, will be way shorter. Again, to be just on your yellow clip, you can just press Ctrl left, and here we go. This is your yellow clip, this is your blue, and this is your green clip. To jump between the same frame, between these clips, is Ctrl, comma, or Ctrl dot, depending the direction, but basically you can just cycle with the same with the same button as well. Okay, let's see what else I'm missing. You can create your own sequences, your own stacks and layouts just by pressing, for example, I want to compare these two guys, and then right click, new viewable sequence. And right now you have sequence with this name, which is very long. You can change the name if you would like to. I think it will be edit view info, or it will be rename. I think it will be edit view info. Ah, yeah, that's right. Okay, and then you're giving it some kind of like normal name, and then later you double click, and right now you have only 2 clips on the timeline. Give me a second, I will think about more important stuff. Just walk through the tools. So very important, for example, X, as I mentioned already, show and hide the session manager. If you will press F2, you will hide your timeline. And by the way, investigate, right click on your timeline, and there will be quite some options. Maybe you would like to use them. F3, it's additional timeline on top. What this timeline is giving to you, imagine you have very long clips, and this timeline gives you all the clips together. But this one on top just give you in and out. And why is this handy? Because you can actually see each frame. So for example, if I will set my in, which is square bracket, you see how small my in point here and out point, so you can actually travel per frame and just see on which frame you're located in a little bit. And it also gives you a little bit, in very long clips, more control, kind of like if you want just to pull your stuff. Okay, so this is the timeline. What else which is important? The shortcuts for information and so on are also located there. I believe that you will have to go through the menus, and it's really not rocket science. Just go through each one of them and to see what it gives to you. And I will stop now because I think that's very much basics of RV that you should know. Thank you very much.